cycle, this endings, grand endings, this Kali Yuga, end of the age type of energy. So I think a lot of us came down here and said, oh my gosh, let me get it all done in one lifetime. And to actually have conversations like this where we can talk about it, where we can, the circles where I do membership calls or community calls, and we're all discussing, well, this past life memory came up and this thing came up. And oh, yeah, there's probably this ancestral piece. Could these conversations have happened 50 years ago or 100 years ago the way that they are today? Probably not, right? So I think we knew on some larger, scale that we could get so much done in one lifetime, and our higher selves may have bitten off a little bit more than they could chew. But that's okay. We're chewing it. And I think from the human perspective, it's sometimes frustrating or hard to remember how or not frustrating, but it's hard to remember how supported we really are, and how nothing we've ever faced in life has been stronger than us.
Yeah.
I don't think we always recognize that or realize that in the moment. Like, guess what? Nothing I have faced has been stronger than me. I have been stronger than all of it. Right. And so I think we're at this, kind of tipping point coming up to where all the work we've put in, all of the, sometimes decades of being, intentionally living in this plane, we're going to really start seeing the collective shifting as the consciousness continues to rise, which it is happening. It's just that, kind of the shadow aspects are also meeting the light. So I think sometimes it looks like it's darker than it actually is, just because the shadow is finally coming to the surface after being, hidden for so long.
Yeah, it's kind of like we've got really bright lights on in the kitchen, and all of a sudden, we can see, oh my gosh, the counter doesn't look as clean as I thought it was. This area of the floor has got to stay. And I actually will never forget when we redid our kitchen and my wife put in these LED, these really bright, like white lights. And I was like, wow, you can see absolutely everything. Well, then later I got rid of the LEDs because I didn't want all that blue light. But the brighter the light, the more things show up. And I think that's the reason we're starting to notice so much. At the same time, you've mentioned something called a timeline reset. And this affects everybody very personally, because I think everybody has kind of like their own personal timeline. What is a timeline reset? Why is this coming up right now?
I think that the perceptual, a timeline reset is a perceptual shift, right? Two people can witness the same thing and walk away with completely different takes on what they just experienced based on their perception, right? If that when we have the way the guides show me, like the collective timeline, for instance, usually there's a low collective timeline happening, a medium one, and a really high one. The collective hasn't really hopped on that high one. And believe it or not, we haven't been on the lowest one either. We've been somewhere in the middle. And so via our choices, we can kind of think of it as when we're making choices that are toward where we want to go, toward what we're wanting to bring in, we're kicking up, we're asking to rise higher and higher and higher. When we start making choices that are against where we want to go, when we're saying yes when we mean no, when we're saying no when we mean yes, when we are, when we feel yucky after making a decision, why did I just do that? Now we're starting to trend in a more misaligned timeline, we can say, and then we course correct and come back up. And so as we align our choices with where we want to go, reclaiming our power and our divinity, remembering that we are this, it's so hard to just describe how the magnificence and the power of our consciousness that embodies our vessels. As we remember that, and remember who we are, and remember how powerful we are and the truth of our beings, we're ticking up and inviting those timeline resets of the more higher available alignments, possibilities, synchronicities, et cetera, to flow more easily into our life.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I agree with what you're saying. Like our moment to moment decisions, either like get us on the higher timeline, or they like keep us in the existing timeline, or maybe put us into a more descendant timeline. So it's really important to get aligned. For people that are trying to shift their life and they're wondering like why maybe something isn't changing, why a pattern keeps coming up, why maybe an illness might keep coming up. How do you describe what's going on there? Because you would think on a higher timeline, eventually, some of these things would start to change or morph or fall away. What is happening if something keeps coming back, Tanya?
Well, and it could be a core lesson that we're working with in this
Okay.
lifetime, right? So there could be different patterns, different cycles that a part of our Earth School curriculum. Okay, I'm really going to come down there this time and master forgiveness, right? So we're going to have, one experience after another, after another, after another to learn this, this forgiveness lesson, right? And then once we've really anchored in all the learning that we came to learn around that forgiveness, then the pattern kind of closes out and it's like, yay, I've graduated from the main program that or the main, the main program that I signed up for Earth School with. So there's that component. There's also what the team calls healing crisis loops, where, we have something happen in a past life and it just seems to cycle back again and again and again and again. So it's like the veil of forgetting hits us when we come down here, and what's stored in our DNA, our RNA, other places, energetically, like, oh yeah, that's familiar, that's familiar, that's familiar. Even if it's something we wouldn't consciously sign up for, it feels familiar to us. So we're kind of looping in these cycles that they call a healing crisis loop or a timeline loop. So when I'm working with people, I'm able to my human kind of goes very much on the shelf, not totally. So I'm do the semi-trance channeling, but I ask the team and guides, okay, what's going on here? And they show me, this is going on. This cycle is going on, whether it's a timeline loop, a healing crisis loop. Let's say, I was working with somebody the other day who had some, major, like a staph infection or something like that. And when I tuned in, it was like, oh, you had some sort of really weird plaguey type of thing. I could see boils and welts all over his skin. And I immediately heard it's part of the 999 ending, clear that life. And
Wow.
all the antibiotics, everything he's taking are fine. And again, I don't give health advice, not a licensed healthcare provider. We're looking at the energetics of it, but we can go in and shift things energetically by forgiving that lifetime, by freeing that lifetime. We can have soul fragments, different things that get stuck along the way. And the guys are just amazing at coming in and unsticking those places, inviting them up for a soul wash, and then returning them all nice and sparkly and clean. So we can close these loops out and, step into more of that peace and that balance and that thriving energy that we all want more of.
Yes. Yeah. You had me at Soul Wash. I'm like, oh, I want one of those. That sounds really good. Bleed over. I know we're getting into some themes, some ideas. We are going to get into how Tanya sees energy. We're going to open the lines here. But I had this vision of something I've heard of before and witnessed. It's kind of like a timeline bleed over. You mentioned someone who wasn't responding to certain types of protocols, having maybe a condition in another timeline, another life, and there was this bleed over. I'm wondering, what are some signs maybe in our life that something isn't just from this life or this, you know, point in time, but maybe like a bleed over from another lifetime, another existence?
Something that is unexpectedly triggering, like something that shouldn't
Yes.
be super triggering, and it bothers you so
Yes.
deeply. You're just like, whoa, there's something, this particular thing shouldn't bug me this much.
Yeah.
Like for instance, it's a really silly one example from my mom. She, like, whenever she sees somebody in the grocery store with wearing pajamas, she freaks out. Like, she just absolutely has a coronary over how could they I'm like, mom, who cares? Maybe they don't feel good today and they're getting some soup, leave them alone, right? But but it really doesn't bother me at all. I don't have any opinion about it, where you can just see the stress on her face that somebody is wearing pajamas and oh my God. And it's a funny example, but I think it highlights that it's this, like, it doesn't make sense why it bothers you so much, but it bothers you.
Right.
So it's kind of one telltale. And then oh, there was another one and I lost it. If it comes back, I'll bring it back around.
Yeah, I've seen sometimes like where there's just this deep helplessness, this feeling of like there's just no way out of this, like a money challenge. And it may just be a little thing, but it feels like it's insurmountable,
Mm-hmm.
and it feels very much like a core deep wounding, almost like, there's a situation, there's a stimulus, there's an event, it could just be something, it could be a blip in your life, but it feels like it opened up this deep hole inside of you. And there's just no way out of it. Like all the air has been sucked out of you. You just feel
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this?
Yeah.
And, I've seen this in my own life, right? So, yeah, these things exist, right?
Yeah.
It's wow.
I had one, show up in a weird way too in the last month where the timelines were actually bleeding together and I was seeing multiple different realities in the physical at once. And it was very confusing and not very pleasant. Like I'd look at a sign and I'd turn around or I'd look away, I'd look back and the sign was different,
Oh, wow.
like, and it was happening for like 2 days straight. And I'm like, what is going on? What is going on? And I went into meditation and my guides are like, just stay on, stay in your body, stay present.
Mm,
You're experiencing too many realities at once and it's confusing. So, and there wasn't really anything I could do in the moment to shift it other than just do a little bit extra rest. And that whole, it was right around the first eclipse, I think this happened. Maybe around the 8-8 portal. Wasn't there an eclipse right around 8-8? It was
hmm.
kind of in
Yeah.
that week. And I just needed to rest more. I just needed to take better, like just really focus on self-care, doing extra meditating, and then it went away. But it was very uncomfortable for a couple days because I'm like, okay, I don't like this. This is really not pleasant. I
Oh
don't
my
mind
gosh.
jumping, timelines, but seeing three realities at the same time is a bit much, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, make up your mind, right? Make up your mind, reality. Which way are we going to go? I want to dive into some of the deeper things you've done. One of the things you've done this season is create some incredible activations. And the first one that I just wanted to bring forward, and then we are going to get to some callers, is something really interesting. And maybe it ties into kind of where we're going with these higher dimensions, right? Last time you talked about what could be like lower vibrational energies around the I think the fifth, sixth, seventh dimension, but like at a certain point we can get out of that polarity and we can get into what's called this divine homeostasis. And that's actually one of your first audios that you're sharing in the program. What is divine homeostasis? What is it going to look like in some respects in this higher dimensional reality? Like when we break out of these old timelines, how do you see that coming through for people?
So it's about taking that higher frequency, that higher consciousness, this kind of oneness, universal love, balance that's available in the upper realms and drawing that down into our physical, right? So ascension, very much in my perception, is we're taking these, super high frequencies and bringing them down into the 3D. And
Mm,
when we've done that, the 3D automatically balances and just feels different. So again, that perceptual shift where we're, maybe experiencing the same things, but having completely different perceptions of those things, where things that would normally be triggering aren't triggering. Things that, normally would bring doubt, bring trust,
mm,
right? And really shifting out of a stressed based, hypersensitive, nervous system fried, overwhelm, overstimulated, over distractionated, not a word, but you know what I mean, into
yes.
more of this, like, oh, I can slow down to speed up. Oh,
Mm,
I don't have, my nervous system can go into safety. right? So when like with the receiving channels, for instance, a lot of times it's not safe to receive. It's not safe to have those receivers open, right? So when I'm scanning, I'm looking, are there water circuits turned on? Are they clear? Are you in your own energy, or do you have all this other energy in, going on? Are your water circuits turned on? Are you flowing with life? So the homeostasis really helps get those water circuits turned on, get those receivers turned on. So it's like much easier to receive. When our nervous systems are fried out, we're walking around like this. We're waiting for, okay, where's the next snowball coming from? Then it's going to knock me off my alignment.
Right.
What's going on, right? It's very hard to be in this like, oh, I'm ready to receive today energy, right?
Mm.
We're shifting from that kind of fight, fright, fleet, freeze, fawn, forget response of the
Wow.
sympathetic nervous system and coming into, oh, it's safe to receive, right? I saw a lot of people writing in on digestive stuff. That's clenching, right?
Mm.
When our digestive system is clenching, it's usually because our nervous system is clenching and it's not safe to receive. Once we bring in that almost like ultra relaxation, it's much easier to receive. And then things just kind of flow a lot differently from that place of safety, that place of stillness, that place of balance and homeostasis,
Mm.
versus that place of you know
Right.
which
Absolutely.
which is so easy to be right now. I mean, it's like, the world has definitely gotten crazier and crazier
Right.
in the last 10 years instead of lighter and lighter. However, it's like that dirt on the counter you were talking about. It is actually lighter. We're just seeing the dirt more.
Yeah, it's all in front of us. Abundance is coming up a lot, and then we are going to go to some callers. A lot of people were commenting or writing in last time about abundance. And I think that I love what you said. I'm not going to be able to repeat it. Fight, flight, fawn, fear, all of
Yeah.
that seems to drive away true abundance. I'm not just talking about money, but that true abundance, that true life, joy, that flow, that monetary security, all of those things that they actually are attracted by this homeostasis, not the frenetic, wild up, down. In fact, that repels,
Mm-hmm.
lasting joy, lasting wealth. Tell me what happens in the area of abundance when we start to actually anchor into this new timeline. What have you seen? How do you see that?
Well, we stop seeing abundance as separate from
Ooh,
us.
yes.
I think that's one of the first key component. We're used as this paper thing or this, number on an account thing as, we as being outside of us,
Mhm.
instead of realizing that money is simply a management of our external resources, right? So
Mhm.
if you think of like, meditation or, reflective time of, really filling up our inner cup as a management of our inner resources, when we take the time to be present with ourselves, to take care of ourselves, we're managing our inner resources. And money is just simply the external of that, managing our external resources, right? So we're taking some of the charge around money, around abundance, around this topic that affects every area of our life,
Mhm.
right? And instead of seeing it as this outside thing that has control over us, we're realizing that it's just mirroring our own inner resources in a sense. And
Yes. Yes.
it doesn't have to be this big, ominous, scary thing, that it's actually here to work with us, flow with us, and that the energy of money is very neutral. And so what it's like, if you were to take a piece of tissue paper and just a blank piece of white tissue paper, and if you were perception around money, resources, currency was very light, was very joyful. You're going to pick, pastels, to
Mm,
blot on that white paper. You're going to pick pretty blues and pinks and purples, and it's going to just create this cornucopia of really beautiful tissue paper. Where if your inner child, for instance, had a lot of very negative experiences about money, if you've had money trauma, bankruptcies,
mm,
evictions, losing everything, having to start again, you might not be picking up those pastel colors. You might be picking up the grays and the browns and the blacks and all these heavy colors. And you're going to have, again, that perceptual thing. You're going to have two completely different representations around what abundance is and what money is. And so when you can neutralize that and say, no, external resources are here to support me. Money is just
yes.
as available to me as oxygen is.
Mm,
Right? It is just as available to me as any other resource in this realm. Then
mm.
it starts to shift to where it's easier to receive because there isn't all this head stuff around it that says, oh, it has to come in this way and it has to come in this way. And it's not for me, it's for everybody else. And, we're literally swapping out those food coloring things saying, nope, I'm not going to carry around the black, brown, gray food coloring anymore. I'm going to carry around the blues and the greens and the pinks and that kind of thing. Does that kind of answer your question?
It does. It
Yeah.
does. And it's associating with sort of the infinite supply because you're no longer plugged into the old systems, the old ways of receiving it, the old ways of bringing it in. I kind of saw this in my own life. Is like once I got into the kind of this new earth energy, I realized that it was a product of myself and what I was able to generate energetically through ideas, through love, through my own vibration versus this thing that I had to kind of be at the right place at the right time for someone to kind of dole out to me. So
Yeah.
it's a whole paradigm shift. And a lot of this is letting go of the old model. So if you've had, let's say, money challenges everyone, and you're like, I can't do this another year like that. Yeah, you've got to get out of the old timeline around money because we've got timelines around money. We've got timelines around, our health and how we take care of our body. We've got timelines around love and how we have done that in the past. So if you are here wanting some support, go ahead and raise your hand. And Tanya, I want to just take 1 minute. Some people may be wondering how you see energy, how you perceive when you tap into people. Anything really quick you want to share about that? And then also you may mention codes, things like that. I don't know if people need to be aware of kind of what's going on with that because we do tap into some higher dimensional stuff here.
Yes. And the team is, depending on who I'm working with, different high frequency guides. So all the guides I work with are 100% pure love and pure light only. Right. So any guides that I channel, whether it's Archangel Metatron, Sananda slash Jezua, depending on how you refer to him, Archangel Michael, any of the Ascended Master Archangel teams, the Palladian Collective, the Syrian collectives, the Octurian collectives, the Lumerian collectives. There's a lot of different collectives that'll come in. And like the light language will change depending on who's coming in. But no one is, I do not channel for any being that isn't rooted in 100% pure love and 100% pure light. So we can know that about, all the guidance that comes through from the beings. When I come in, my human comes in very much blank, like I've mentioned before, and then the guides show me in kind of a claircognizant way. I do have a little clairvoyance, I do have a little clairaudience, but mostly it's just claircognizance. It comes in as thought, and I am translating what they're showing me in terms of visuals, in terms of what's going on. So when I come in, it's just blank, and they just show me right away, here it's tied to this, here it's tied to this, here it's tied to that, it's over here. And sometimes the numbers can be very high. When I do timeline cleanses, we have every physical aspect that you've ever been hold
Mm.
hearing cord. And sometimes there's over a million aspects holding that cord. So, that's kind of mind blowing for our human to wrap our minds around. Oh my gosh, I've had a million physical experiences or 2 million physical experiences. And again, I'm just channeling what the guides are showing me at the time. And I don't do a whole lot of future casting for that reason either. I've tried to focus on clearing up what has already happened, because depending on the timeline that we are on, what they're showing in terms of the future timelines might shift based on what timeline that you're on at the moment. So I do a little bit of looking ahead, but not much. And they're pretty particular when they do go into looking ahead, that you know, they let people know that, like, okay, the timeline you're on right now says you're moving in 6 months, but if you jump timelines, then you might move in 2 months, or you might not move for a year, you know, so that can change based on the energy at the time.
Very interesting. Well, I am very curious to see what people get and what you get. This is going to be amazing. I want to go to Linda. Linda, Zaber. Going to send you, Linda, an unmute request. Then we'll go to PAEM. So let me see, Linda, if you're able to unmute. Let's see if we can get Linda on here. If not, we'll go to PAEM. So let's see what's going on here.
Which Linda?
I had
Which Linda?
I had Linda Z, but if you're unmuted, which Linda do we have?
Linda Lee.
Hey,
From
Linda
Montana.
Lee, what's going on? You're live with Darius and Tanya James. Hey, sometimes you got to just grab the bull by the horns and take it. So go right ahead. I
We
love it.
did it. We
That's
did it.
right. That's right.
Hi, Tanya. I'm
Linda,
really,
how are you?
oh, after a reading, I've really expanded a lot. And I just
Great.
like to have a reading now and make sure all my waters are running and any
You want more.
messages that's going on.
So the water circuits right now, go ahead and just say that. My water circuits are turned on.
My water circuits are turned on.
Grab it. Got it. About 85% right now. So they're wanting you to send, hold on one second. Okay, imagine bright green roots, and everybody can do this, coming out of your feet. Could be bright green vines, bright green roots. It could be green roots with a little gold sprinkled in for those that are wanting some abundance into the bank account.
Took off my shoes.
So just imagining, it doesn't, you can have shoes on or shoes off, doesn't matter, but just imagine these bright green vines, these bright green roots dropping down, and there's a plate underneath you, 1, 2, 3 plates. They look like kind of these big, thick titanium, yeah, titanium. Yep. So we're going to clear those from underneath your Earth Star chakra. Time to let those go. These are past life. These are associated with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different past life timelines here on Earth. It's kind of like these, they're almost like grounding. It's like a grounding inversion, right?
I've been sleeping on grounding sheets.
Oh,
It's
good.
interesting.
So maybe the grounding sheets have helped kind of bring these up, like, hey, you're grounding. So we're just going to ask for Metatron here. Thank you, Archangel Metatron, to kind of vacuum these out of that. It's a like 7th dimensional plate. So bye-bye. There we go. Now we're going to send those bright green vines, roots, all the way down to the water table underneath you. So somewhere under you, there is water. And you want to, could be 500 feet down, it could be miles down, doesn't matter, but somewhere underneath you, there's a water table. And you're going to drop into that water table now. There you go. And now you feel that water being stoked up from those roots and coming right into your heart. And as that water connects with the heart, I am unconditionally worthy and deserving.
I am unconditionally worthy and deserving
of all good things.
Of all good things.
And from this place, we activate your water circuits and your receivers to flow for your ultimate highest and best good and your new earth blueprint, higher purposes in this realm at this time. And so it is.
And so be it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now,
Wow.
do I need to do something to keep that flowing?
I would say, you know, if you are working with your waters, to, you know, see those roots plugging into the water table, when you're actively working with your waters, those plates will also help. Now that they're removed, that'll also help. With that, and that's not that uncommon. I have seen plates like that before in the other dimensions, either below people or even above people or on the sides. They're kind of like these interference type of you know, disturbances, we could call them, that tend to exist in the 5th, 6th, and 7th dimensions from other timelines.
Interesting. My feet is getting warm.
Good. Good.
Wow.
But I
Okay.
do meditate, yeah, and connect down. So we'll do the waters too. Thanks. Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank
Linda.
you.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you. We're going to go to another Linda because we've got Linda here who's now unmuted. Linda Zaber. Linda, how can we help you today?
Hi, Darius. Hi, Tanya.
Hi.
Hi, Linda. How are you?
Well, I have can you help me with physical challenges I've had for 30 plus years, all sorts of things. And a few weeks ago, I've started to get better doing yoga and doing things and raising up and getting better. And then last week, boom, my ear got clogged, and now my ears are ringing, and my right ear is, especially my right ear is hard to hear. So it's just all these physical issues. It's just constantly an extra challenge always for years.
Okay, so I'm seeing a little bifurcation here. So I'm actually seeing the guides are kind of showing me 4 energy signatures in your one human vessel. That could be a host of different things, like unhealed ancestors that have been kind of hitchhiking, coming along for the ride. There, 1, 2 of these signatures are that. And then one other signature feels like an unhealed aspect from another lifetime, like another timeline. It's almost like when you transition from a certain timeline, that part of you got stuck and kind of fractured off. And so it is your energy, but it's a lower frequency or a stuck version of your energy. So we're just going to ask, first of all energy that doesn't belong to you to be completely removed from your field. So you're going to, and everybody can do this together. I am clear. I declare myself as clear, and all energy that doesn't belong to my to my pure sovereign soul signature must leave now, must leave now, must leave now. All energy that doesn't belong to my pure soul sovereign signature must leave now, must leave now, must leave now. So any unhealed ancestors must leave your field now, must leave your new field now. Any like hijacking energy must leave your field now. It is so, you know, really seeing yourself. They're showing me your higher self. So they want you to see your higher self as this like 100-foot goddess. So they want you to imagine your higher self as like literally an 8 to 10 story goddess. There you go. And that doesn't belong to you must leave. Oh, there you go. Awesome.
Whoa.
And then that soul aspect that was yours, but that was kind of almost like an inverted aspect. We're inviting that up to the light for a soul wash. Up to the light. I forgive and release what's here.
Oh boy.
Oh, I forgive and release whatever this is here. You've carried it long enough. You have atoned for it long enough. I forgive and release what's here. I forgive and release what's here. And you can even put your hands up to match mine here. I forgive and release what's here. Feel that love coming in. Ooh. 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 There we go. I forgive, release what's here.
Here, I forgive and release what's here.
And I am in my own energy now.
And I'm in my own energy now.
I'm in my body now.
I'm in my body now. That doesn't down to my ankles or my feet are there.
That's okay.
Okay.
Okay. That's okay.
I'm in my
In
body
my
now.
body now. And that was the cognitive dissonance, honestly, because you were coming into your body, and then the mind says, nope, that can't be true. Right. So when we've lived out of our body for so long, sometimes the cognitive dissonance of yes, it is so is like too much, and we'll kick ourselves out because it's like, what do you mean? That's impossible. I can't be in my body. I haven't been in my body for 30 years. It can't be that easy, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not saying that that's what's happening, or no judgment at all in that. It's just sometimes we will kick the energy out without realizing it, because the conditioning or the almost the phantom limb pain is another way of describing old trauma that hangs on. It'll be so present, it feels real, but it's just the echo of it. It's not the actual thing. So I just want you to kind of take that in for a second, and it's safe to come into my body.
Safe to come into my body.
There's the no. So that's where the work is
Okay.
the safety of being in the body. And when we've had pain, when we've had health conditions, when we've had health crises, the body doesn't feel like it's a safe place. It feels like it has abandoned us. It feels like it's not supporting us. So we feel like, okay, if I'm in my body, I'm going to feel more pain. I'm going to feel more disconnection. I'm going to feel more lonely. I'm going to feel more this. I'm going to feel more that. And instead, it's actually the reverse, that the more we come into our body, if for anyone who has pain, try to put 100% of your focused energy on that pain. It's going to move almost immediately. And so, it's the same kind of phenomenon where when we put all of our focus on being in the body, all of a sudden, all that discomfort doesn't have anywhere else to go but out. There you go. It's safe to be in my body.
Safe to be in my body.
And I'm in my body now.
And I'm in my body now.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 85%. I'm in my body now.
I'm in my body now.
1, 2, 3, 4 timelines in the ankles and feet. Let's just ask for Archangel Michael to help snip and dissolve that. Those ties there, snip and dissolve, snip and evaporate, snip and let it go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. End to end, root to root, tip to tip. I'm in my body now.
I'm in my body now.
There you go.
Thank you. It
You're
makes so much
welcome.
sense, especially the past life. And I did order your package, so I'll be working more with you. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. And I'm so
Wow.
excited to meet you.
Okay.
In this, going forward, excited.
Forward.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Linda. Thank you. Gosh, Tanya, you have such a heart of gold. People absolutely love this. All right, we're gonna go to another caller. We got so many people. I want to go to Wendy. And Wendy, I have a feeling what you're gonna share might be something that other people will also resonate with. So everyone feel into what comes forward for you. Wendy, sending you an unmute request. Wendy R. Hopefully you can get that. Okay, what's going on,
Hello.
Wendy?
Can you hear me?
Sure can.
Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Tanya. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. Dealing with life as always.
Mm.
Um, I've been having physical issues. Well, issues everywhere, but physical is the thing that I've been working on. A lot of edema
Yeah.
issues, lymph issues.
I'm feeling the lymph on the left side, right under the armpit. As soon as you started talking, it literally felt like, you know, almost like a hot, that kind of nerve burning pain, but go ahead.
Yeah, that's what it was. I've been doing as much as I can to help my lymph move, but it doesn't seem like the more I try, the worse it gets.
Okay. Part of, and this, the kind of swelling, edema, water retention, I think this is one of the reasons why the guides have been coming forward with so much water healing and water energy, is because as the frequency rises, what we are holding on to, what we are retaining, is very much staying in our tissues, staying in our waters. And so with all these water activations and this water coding, it's about like activating that structured water within us, that H3O2, which the doctor out of University of Washington has been researching and talking about, that the water inside of our body is structured water. It is different than the water that we drink or bathe in, and that what activates it is actually like being in the sun. So if you drink a big glass of water and go out into the sun, that those sun codes actually activate that water in your skin, you know, through the layers of skin, and structure the water. Same with sound. Like if we're, you know, go to a sound bath, or we listen to, you know, singing bowls, you know, after drinking a glass of water, we're actually activating that water. And his research is very much supporting, you know, what the team has been talking about for years. So when I saw that, I'm like, oh, that's the water codes that we've been working with. That's cool. So but anyways, back to like, things are getting waterlogged that we're holding on to unnecessarily. So kind of like what we did with a caller just a minute ago, I forgive myself for whatever is here. So I want to start there.
Or whatever here.
Okay. And there's, so, oh yeah, hold on. Hold on. There are no unlovable parts about me. I want you to give yourself a hug. There are no unlovable parts about me.
There are unlovable parts about me.
And I forgive myself for whatever is here.
I forgive myself for whatever is here.
There we go. And I turn my water circuits on.
I'll turn my water circuits on.
Awesome. So now I want you to imagine that you have two spouts, like water spouts, on your inside of your ankles, right at spleen 6. Doesn't matter if you know where spleen 6 is or not. It's on the it's on the left and the right, more the left actually. So we're going to open that spot in spleen 6. We're going to open that tap. You're going to open it, and there's like literally yellow sludge coming out. It looks like, it smells like sulfur. It looks like bile. It's not pretty looking. And I just want you to see that draining off. And as that's happening, sorry. As that's happening, it's going to get, the waters are coming in for the crown. So we have crystalline water codes coming in from the crown, through your crown, and down your central channel. So it's replenishing immediately, whatever is draining out through this left tap. And let it go, let it all go. Let it all go. Let it go. Yes, it is time. It is, you have carried this long enough. It is time. Thousands of years old, some of this. So just, I forgive myself for whatever it is here. And I let it go. There we go.
Like Elsa, let go, let it go.
Yeah. It's flowing. It's flowing pretty slow here though. I'm just looking and see if I can open that up a little bit. We're going to send forgiveness to whoever that was in a past life that betrayed you. That's what's tied to what I was feeling, that stabbing pain under the armpit right away, like the lymph here. Like, you know, like almost like a knife wound, energetic, you know, right into that part by someone who betrayed you. So we're just going to ask for forgiveness across the board here, towards self, towards, there you go. There you go. More. Let that bile go. Let venom go. There we go. All right. And I am clear.
Something's happening. What's going on? What's
Yeah.
happening there?
I am clear. Go ahead and say I'm clear.
I'm clear.
Yep. And yep, that's releasing. That was a big one. I mean, I could literally feel like a sword getting pulled out of my underneath my armpit here.
Wow.
It was that.
I'm
Sometimes
clear.
I'll feel things a little bit, so they'll show me kind of, you know, as the guides will show me like, hey, this is what's going on there. Here's what's going on there. It's not, it's just, I usually just feel a tiny little bit of it. And then as soon as they kind of show it through my own body, then it kind of moves. But this is still clearing. So I would definitely recommend package B if you were looking for a package recommendation, because we can go into a little deeper on why that isn't fully, you know, and it could be it just needs a little bit, a day or two to release.
Okay, thank you. It
My,
seems like
my
I've
water,
had a lot of
my water circuits are turned on. Try that one.
my water circuits are turned on.
Okay.
A little bit dizzy. Sorry.
Yeah. They're about, so water, drink water, have a little bit of salt. It may be in the water if that's aligned. For, you know, little electrolytes, something like that. And then
Get out in the
she's
sun.
going to keep running. So this is going to keep running for probably a couple days in the background, so it's not so intense.
Okay.
And that's a good point. Like, you know, if we've been carrying something for thousands of years, if it's not meant to leave right this second, the guides are really good about, you know, helping it release over days, weeks, or even months, so it's gentle and not super intense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Welcome,
Seems
Wendy.
like I've had a lot of those swords and knives.
Yeah, you're not. You're in great company. You're not.
Oh my God.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Wendy. Wow. And you know, this is talk about bleed over. It's like, oh, I'm carrying a etheric sword or a knife or something from another, you know, lifetime timeline. And I gotta say, she's not the only one that felt that. I felt that. Eileen just wrote in and said, wow, I am just really feeling these lost people's clearings. Let me know. Well, here's another person. Haya said, I felt a contracted energy between my heart and solar plexus, and it dissipated. So I feel like I've definitely released something. Wow. Yeah. Let me know, everyone. What are y'all feeling right now? There's just so many comments coming in. Did you feel that one? Did you feel like something got released? And again, this isn't just about, hey, let's think positive or let's, you know, kind of think about the new earth. This is letting go of those things that are causing these completion loops to not finish, these loops of struggle to just keep pulling forward in our life. We don't want it anymore. And it's about asserting sovereignty. Now, Tanya, yeah, feeling light, says D. I know you always choose a pretty amazing process or something relevant for us. What do you want to work on for the whole group? What's coming up? Because I know we're gonna do something here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's still a little bit clearing from that last one for everybody.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of letting that, like, my waters are turned on. They're kind of showing me this, they're hold on. I'm just kind of tuning in on the guides here. we're just going to ask for these beautiful diamond water codes to come in for everybody here. So just imagining that we're all standing under this amazing waterfall, and it's like 50% water and 50% pure liquid light. And just allow the support to come in. And as the support is coming in, just reclaiming the sovereignty of your nervous system, reclaiming the sovereignty of your water helixes, which is another word they have for RNA. Light helixes is DNA. And sometimes they switch them up, but today that's where they are. And my water circuits are turned on. And it's safe to receive more than you need, and to know that your inner and outer purposes deserve to be fully resourced, fully financed, and that your gifts are needed in this realm. So we're going to bring in here, now we'll start kind of going into the process. So they just wanted the waters, the receivers, the light helixes, the water helixes to be activated and in receiving mode. And again, just know that the space is gridded for you to receive only that which is in your ultimate highest and best good to receive. That anything that may not resonate, that may not be for you, just falls away. But it is safe to receive what is here for you to receive the support, to receive the love, and to receive the confidence and the inner empowerment that, yes, your gifts on this realm at this time matter, even if they're unknown, even if you're not exactly sure what your frequency has been doing on this realm at this time, that you are part of the medicine that is creating new earth. Every single person on the call right now and on replay is the medicine. We are all the medicine helping to grid new earth, and we all do it in our own unique ways, and that your gifts matter. And so the first thing that they're doing is they're coming in with an inner child activation. Just everyone together, I reclaim the sovereignty of all my inner children. I reclaim that innocence. I reclaim that purity from this life and all other lifetimes. So we're going to do a total timeline cleanse here for all inner children. So we're going to bring in, wow, okay, they're bringing in a quantum fiber optic cable of light, infinite fiber optic cable of light. You in this here and now moment is going to be handed this beautiful cord of pure pristine light. It's made up of nebulae and plasma, and it's woven together in this beautiful like fascia, cosmic fascia layer. And then your higher self is going to take the other end of the cord now back to the birth of you as a soul. And now every single inner child aspect that you've ever been is going to simultaneously pick up and grab the cord now. And any and all inner child fragments, soul fragments, any and all orphaned parts, hijacked parts, any parts that got broken off and do not feel worthy, deserving, or capable of grabbing the cord. They're going to grab the cord too on 3. All of them grab the cord, grab it. Yes, you're beautiful. And now, you can just sit there and imagine, thousands, tens of thousands of children, of yous, all these little yous holding this cord of light. And from this place, the cord is going to go to work, and it's just going to draw out any and all contrast around undeservingness, unworthiness, isolation, loneliness, abandonment, lack of love, attention, lack of what they needed to know that they were just beautiful beings. Pulling it out throughout all time space. Pulling out all that density, all that heaviness, all that contrast that any and all of your little inner children have carried throughout all time, pulling it out. And the cord is literally magnetizing and drawing out, you know, that sludge, that swampy energy, that bile, that venom, that poison, pulling it out through every single timeline where there's an inner child aspect. Yep. All of them. We were kids in all the timelines before we became an adult. There we go. There we go. Pulling all that density out, pulling all that contrast out. Excellent. And we're at more. Let it go. Let it go. There are no unlovable parts. I love all, you know, if you've held a baby, bring in that energy of just holding your this just perfection in your arms, that every single aspect is this perfect, is this whole, and deserves love and healing. There we go. 100%. Excellent. So now transmutation phase 1, taking this contrast, turning it into fertilizer. Now. Transmutation phase 2, turning that fertilizer into beautiful, rich soil. Transmutation phase 2 complete. Now transmutation phase 3, from soil into seeds of possibility, synchronicity, abundance, healing, love, freedom, and sovereignty for all your inner kiddos. Transmutation phase 3. And now on the count of 3, we're going to rip this cord apart, and these seeds are going to go wherever healing is needed in your life, in your ancestors, your lineage, going forward, going backward, going into anywhere where healing is being called for in your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body, your financial sides of life, professionally, personally. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And these seeds literally fall like coated snowflakes of love, soft, warm, and cool, depending on what's needed. Cool for inflammation, heat for where the fire needs to return. And I reclaim the sovereignty of all of my inner kiddos. Good job, everyone.
Wow. Slowly coming back here. Oh my gosh, this is just absolutely incredible. Lots of cool things happening. We got to share some things. Oh, Tanya, when you ripped that, it was literally, God, it was like not only were we pulling away these things that didn't serve us, I saw like these sparkles just kind of blast out almost like fireworks, and each one of them was like a healing seed that just got planted and just started actually producing shifts and realignments and healing and joy. It was literally like kind of this, it just reminded me of this unstoppable sort of explosion of goodness inside of me. So I want to thank you. I've never experienced anything like that before. That was amazing at so many levels. I was like, wait a minute. Oh wow. And then we're ripping it off, and then it's spreading and it's healing, and it's like taking root everywhere it's going. It's like, wow, all these things are happening. Gosh, and this is
So, and that is that, and those are that is one of the modalities that I work with,
wow.
that my team gifted me with for these timeline resets.
Wow. And I got to say, we are broadcasting this process to everybody. So the Facebook folks, the YouTube folks, the people on X, I wanted to make sure y'all got that process. So it is there for the whole world. Very amazing. Let me share this. This was really important for the planet. And that's why I want it to be out free for people to experience that. Whether you're in our community or not, you just stumble on us on YouTube. There it is. It is forever in time on our channels. Tanya, very powerful, says Tina. It felt like every cell in my whole body was cleared to become the new. That is it. Amazing. Wow. Tina.
And I'm saying thank you. And I'm saying thank you, team, because the support that is here for us in doing this work is just so incredible. And I am so like grateful and humbled to be able to translate for them. That the Lumerians and the Palladians, especially, both councils are just like really just sending us so much love and saying, guess what? It's time to rise into the frequency we came here to be.
Yeah.
And that we're supported in this.
Wow. These comments are mind blowing. I gotta read them. Thank you to Tanya's team. I've never experienced an activation transmission like this. That was from Haya. Another person wrote in. Thank you. I can't even describe how I'm feeling. Writes in Linda. Another person, I got sudden craving for hot cocoa. Don't know if this is related. Well, it's probably so. Chocolate is a wonderful healer. We all probably believe that. Thank you, Tanya. Very powerful. I felt every cell of my body become new. Thank you. This was a gigantic healing. Now my nose is running. I haven't felt anything like that. Wow, says Lisa. Another person, Wanda. Oh my God, crying. And I felt heat coming out of my back. Thank you. Feeling great now. Had an opening in my heart and throat. Wow. Another 6 more people wrote in. Body vibrating. Felt some heaviness in my chest lift. Feeling lighter and calmer. What an amazing experience. Totally crying with joy. Amazing. It just keeps coming in. Incredible, Tanya. And this is just a mild little taste of what is going on this season with your amazing deeper work and what you're doing with the timeline reset for Ascension. So if y'all enjoyed this, would you like me to kind of share what Tanya is doing, where you could actually have some personal time with Tanya and a very big gift of personal time, which we're going to talk about? Let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a yes if you'd like me to share a little more about this, because I love what Tanya does. She comes on these shows, she gives of her time, but I want to share a way that you can support what she's doing in the world, support the show, but also get something that you may never find again. And that is this amazing opportunity. This is going to be very, very, very profound. Suzanne says yes. Natalie says yes. A lot of people saying yes. So I want to share a little bit of what's happening here. One of the things Tanya is doing at our very special page, uwealthrevolution.com/Tanya 30, is she's got a very special opportunity. If you'd like to go deeper and get something really special, we were talking a little bit about some of the MP3 audios that she created, some activations, but I want to walk through a little bit of everything because this is an all new opportunity. These are accelerator programs. These are for people that you enjoy the time, you enjoy the sessions, but you're like, this teacher, this being of light really, really has resonated with me. And I want to go in and I want to get everything they're doing for you, Darius, and for the rest of the world this season. And I want to go deep. I love this session, but I want more. You may even want to be seen and heard by Tanya and have personal time. Yes, that's possible. I'm going to share what's going on because it's pretty amazing. It's at uwealthrevolution.com/Tanya, TANJA 30. And in package A, people are going to get 45 minutes private with Tanya. If you decide to go with package B, you're going to get an additional 30-minute follow-up session with Tanja James. So Tanya, I want to get into your amazing audios and what you've created with some of the activations, but because I know people love you so much, because I know people love the time with you and the connection with you, and most people do not offer that much time, I just want to make note that is pretty special. What's your feeling on what's going to happen in those sessions and what those are all going to be about? Because they're going to be you and the individual, the people here locked in to a massive acceleration of that timeline, a massive reset for a new life.
Well, it's me and thousands of beings coming together to move the needle ahead where you need it to move toward. And like the like literally my human again comes in very blank to this time, and the team brings it. I have sessions sometimes where literally we do 5 to 10 sessions worth of work in 30 minutes. I had a regular client, we've been working together for years, and we did a session like sometime in the summer, and we came back after 30 minutes and we both felt like we had been gone for 3 hours. Like, you know, it's just, and the team always brings exactly what you need in the moment that you need it for what is coming forward. So we're not meant to carry all this crap with us. And it's not and including the judgment, like, why haven't I cleared this thing yet? And why haven't I been on the other side of this thing yet? And why aren't I blah, blah, blah. Like, it's really like putting all of that story to bed and saying, okay, universe, I am done. Fill in the blank with what you're done with. Show me the way. And then you literally have hundreds, if not thousands of guides that are holding that space for you to exit out of the old and into the new. And I mean, and my human sometimes is like sits back, and I'll hang up from a call and I'm like, wow, blown, mind blown. Like, it just like, you know, I get to watch miracles every single day. And wow. it is a blessing beyond blessing. I don't even have words for it. So yeah, so the first session will have, you know, 45 minutes concentrated on the timeline resets that you're asking for, the perceptual shifts that you're asking for, the reality shape shifting that you're asking for. And then the package B is a follow-up session later in the winter around the 12/12 portal of a tune-up of being able to say, okay, this is what's moved so far. This might be a little bit stuck. I want to open more into this, into that. So package A is kind of like the master timeline reset private session. And then package B with the 30 minutes, we're going to have that follow-up tune-up to fine-tune anything and go from there.
And I am scrolling through these, but I do not want to miss what's in here. But I just want to share, yeah, if you get package B, you get a follow-up. And some people have been going deeper, and they are learning about the surprise. What wasn't a surprise, it just was something they missed. And this is one person. I said, I purchased package B during the first call, and I am stoked for my one-on-one. And I didn't even realize I have an additional one much later on. I am so grateful for the additional one-on-one time. So everyone, we're going to dive into this and share a little bit more about what's going on at uwealthrevolution.com/Tanya, TANJA 30. But Tanya, you recently had someone who wrote this, and I'm going to paraphrase what Patricia wrote. You shared it with me immediately after my call with Tanya. Now, everyone's different, so I'm going to share. We're not claiming that everyone is going to have some massive physical shift. You know, spirit, the body is going to do what it's going to do. But this person, Patricia, said immediately after the call with Tanya, my hair stopped falling out and has now obviously grown longer and fuller. She says, I was going through hair loss and scalp issues, and during the activation, every strand of hair stood up like an antenna to the divine, and I was retuning to a new frequency. It gave me such peace. Immediately after the call, my hair stopped falling out, and obviously has grown longer and fuller. I'm so happy and grateful for Tanya. The results, she is the real deal. She gets to the heart of what's going on and clears it. Tanya, what happened to Patricia? I mean, you shared that with me. I'm like, what?
Well, and she just told me about it recently, and I'm like, oh, did you send me anything on that? And she's like, no. And she like typed something up and sent it to me right away, because I didn't even know that had happened until she just kind of reached out of the blue and told me. And you know, it's like one of the ladies that had kidney stones completely dissolve within a very short time of, she was like she had one ultrasound, they were there. and then they were gone. And again, I'm not a health provider. I can't, but when you see, that's what I was kind of referring to. I
Yep.
get miracles all the time. Like when we're ready to be done with something, when we're ready to let something go, and we have this portal or
Yes.
container, this opening of support that's here to just say yes to our yeses with us. It's amazing what I've seen shift. I had one group caller a couple of years ago, and she had just done the group calls. We hadn't even done a one-to-one session yet, and it was all on abundance. I think it was on the abundance package that we did a few years ago together.
Yeah.
And she wrote in, and she's like, my parents had like some investment pop unexpectedly, and they sent us like over 6 figures within like talking to my guides. How you guys, you much?
Yeah.
I mean, funny, not funny, but it's this, like when things are ready to shift, like shift happens. I love that.
That's right.
I've seen it before. I probably need to buy one.
Yeah.
See a shift happens t-shirt. I have to get it. It's amazing that when that the energies come together, and again, that faith and that belief that we do deserve to
Yes.
have our purposes supported here, and
Yes.
to know, I mean, that inner child process that they just brought forward was so powerful, because most of our undeservingness and unworthiness was rooted in some sort of inner child aspect that didn't feel good enough, that didn't feel worthy, that didn't feel seen, that didn't feel appreciated, that didn't feel loved. And we're working out this construct. And so that process was powerful for that, that reclamation of, no, I am unconditionally worthy and deserving, and I do deserve to be thriving in this plane at this time, regardless of what's going on in the collective. Like, we get to be the change we want to see. We get to be the frequency we want to see. We don't have to wait until everybody's on board. And for those of us, who's taken bodhisattvas and who have been monks in previous lifetimes and have taken poverty vows and, all the, like, no, it really is safe to receive.
Yes, absolutely. That is an incredible story. I feel that it is our belief, it is our alignment, it is our willingness to let go of the old timelines, the old anchor points, the old patterns and loops that opens the door where it will come through. It is impossible that it does not if you release and truly believe. But what stops us from believing are those old patterns, those old loops, those old, injuries, if you will, that do not leave. And it could be emotional, psychic, etc. It's like the Christ said, if ye have faith of a mustard seed and say to the mountain, move, the mountain will move and tumble into the ocean. It must be. But it's like, it's hard when you're stuck on those lower timelines, when you're stuck on those lower frequency sets, to have the faith, because you're constantly getting knocked back down into
exactly. And the beliefs get eroded, like it's like enough, you get hit by enough waves, and you don't think you can get back up anymore. You get hit with enough of the contrast. It's like, well, what's the point of believing, because I'm just going to be let down, right? What's the point of trusting? I'm just going to be betrayed. What's the point of falling in love again? I'm just going to be hurt, right? Like, we will go into those ruts, and we don't realize that we are powerful creator beings, and that we can take all the experiences that we've had and use them as fuel to new growth, and to new possibilities, and to reclaiming our world, reclaiming realm in love. I mean, the team talks about it all the time. And one of the MP3s, these MP3s are super powerful, by the way. Some of them, I mean, a couple of them, I was woken up at 4 a.m.
All right, let's do it.
Right.
I'm going to say
a couple of them, some of the toning that came through earlier on the call, that's very, it's like this very wailing wall energy. It's very, it sounds very cathartic. It sounds very, heavy, but what it's doing is it's excavating those pockets of density. That vibrational medicine is literally shaking that free to come up and come out, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when you're listening to them, if you feel that discomfort, if you feel stuff moving, listen again. Like, don't like lean into what's uncomfortable, because that's actually what's creating that ripple effect to break open and break into something new, right? It's like if something, you know, hits kind of like, oh, you know, like, no, that's actually breaking, you know, free these pockets of, the team sometimes calls them like pebbles of pain.
Yes.
Stored, you know, they get stored in the diaphragm, they get stored in between the ribs, they get
Yes.
stored in the
And
throat, they get stored in the ears, you know, they get stored in different places. And so the frequency medicine is breaking those open to then flush them out safely, gently, and with as little intensity as possible.
yeah, I wanted to mention and go through all these MP3s because I know you spent an incredible amount of energy, time, and love to create them. I'm also going to make note there is 4 live calls that everyone in Package A is going to get, 4 of them. So you'll see those on the page. I want to go through the MP3s, but gosh, you brought up so many great things, Tanya. My mind's kind of like, wow, I want to go through this. But the reason it is hard to get out of those loops is, as you said, and I forgot what word you used, but you have these little pebbles, that's what you said, of energy. They're sticking, right? And they're just kind of sending out that signal, sending out that pain. It reminds me of someone having a rock in their sandal trying to walk. And every time they put their foot down, even though they think it's going to be a new moment,
Yeah.
bam, that pebble
Yeah.
creates that pain. And it's like, wow, same pain again, same pain again, same pain again. So you're not just telling people, hey, think positive. Hey, you know, battle your circumstances, take control. No, you are bringing in higher dimensional help and frequency to break up that stuff so that it leaves your field. The rock is out of your shoe, right? You can't stomp on that pebble any harder with your heel to crush it, right? That's what a lot of people will say. He's like, just, you know, put your foot on it and you're going to break your bone. You're going to splinter your heel bone, you know, but imagine ultrasound, you know, like breaking up kidney stones, right? Quote unquote. You can break that up through high frequency. You can just take the shoe sandal off and get rid of the pebble. This is what these are going to do. And this is what we're going to be talking about. Let's go through these because I know you've put a ton of love into this. The golden thread timeline cleanse. I think we talked a little bit about that one. Do you want to talk about that? Or you want to go to the next one, the soul wash? Soul wash. I mean, come on, how fun is that? You got to tell me about soul wash. 34.07 minutes. What is this? And again, this is immediately available. Y'all can have this right now.
Yeah, and they're kind of running together. Talk about bleed.
Okay. Good bleed through. This is
good.
good. We want this.
Yeah. So the golden thread is a great one for just a reboot, right? I just somebody just asked about, you know, can you listen to them more than once? I would stick to one a day, honestly. I wouldn't listen to like all 7 of them in one day. You know, pick one and then, you know, start out with the golden thread, you know, listen to that one just to get in your body, to come into you know, agreeing and aligning with your oneness with source, right? Agreeing and aligning with your oneness to your higher self, agreeing and aligning with your oneness to earth. That is kind of that divine homeostasis. So that's a great one to just start out with. If you are going to listen to more than one a day, I would say, you know, maybe one in the morning and one at night, but think less is more, right? Let the energies work, let them run. If you listen to one and you're really feeling viscerally a lot going on, focus on that one for a little while. Listen to that a couple times before you move out to the next one. Don't feel like you have to rush through these. You know, the 999 one, I think, is the one that they woke me up in the middle of the night on 9/9. Like I only had
right here.
hours of sleep, and they were like, me up at 4 a.m. Time to record this. I'm like, are you kidding me? Okay. And it's so powerful that literally on 2 hours of sleep, that whole day I had energy.
Oh
like
my gosh.
that entire day, it was like I was on a full 8-9 hours of sleep when I only had 2 hours of sleep. Same with the oneness now, that total timeline cleanse. is just like, wow. I mean, when I finished recording that one, I think I did that one right around the 9/9 portal too. Like, holy moly. It was, I mean, I was, and when they were done recording, I think 3 of them were exactly 33 minutes and 33 seconds.
Yeah.
And I didn't plan that. I just
Yeah, that's
woke
not
up and that
that
was like
is
the
crazy.
exact thing. You know, David, who I mentioned on the first time, David Chandler does my music and or does the activations, like the activated soundtrack to each of these. Unbelievable. And so some of them may not have stayed 33
Right,
post-production,
because he
or
added
because
sound and
I
stuff
could
like
add things
music.
to
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
But you know, you couldn't deny it. I mean, there was just so much going on as I recorded I think all of these are brand new recordings. 5 out of the 7 have been just recorded just for this package alone.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
And you know, the team really, you know, and I just kind of asked the team, just bring exactly what everyone needs, please, to help, you know, through these times and get on some really nice, juicy timelines for everyone.
Can we talk about this one? Endings alchemized, but I do want to make note abundance. If that is something you're looking at, she's got seed of abundance. And also oneness now, timeline cleanse to limitless receiving.
Yep,
Right?
that was actually, you know what? That was the one at 4 in the morning. Now I'm remembering. So the number 5, that one I recorded around the
Wow.
9 portal at 4 in the morning. The other one is a clearing that I did shortly thereafter, like later in the day. That's the way that worked.
Wow.
I'm
Well, we
trying to
appreciate
remember.
it.
Yeah.
And these are going to change so many millions of lives. There's no question about it from now and into the future. Endings alchemized. I love this because I'm sure we all have something. Let me know if you agree that you want a cycle to end. Maybe it's you don't want the relationship to end, like, you know, you don't want the relationship with your mom to end, but you want that old way of interfacing, that old pattern that maybe is painful, maybe is that pebble in your shoe to end. Let me know if you have something like that, because I'm sure we all have it, right? And this one, Endings Alchemized, this is really exciting because I think this is a way people can start right now today to start creating some endpoints. But then with every ending, right, what do we get? We get a new beginning, but we've got to have the ending, right? So, Tanya, tell me about this one because this is number 6. This is amazing.
Yeah, and universe, I am done. Right.
I'm done.
You know, I've got a little buddy here that's sitting down next to me now, but
Don't touch the phone. Stop it.
I think somebody else has a buddy too touching the phone. That wasn't you. I don't know what that was.
So, you know,
how
universe,
funny.
I'm done. So when you're thinking of like listening to this one, even before you go in, you know, really maybe sit with yourself for a minute. What are you really done with? You
That's
know,
right.
universe, I am done with fill in the blank. It could be that hard relationship, like you said, with your mom. I'm done with
That's
it.
right.
You know, universe, I'm done with this form of lack or this form of struggle or this health condition or this whatever it is. And you can just write out whatever, you know, universe, I'm done with self-criticism. I'm done with, you know, being, you know, my harshest critic or my worst enemy or having inner conflict. You know, that's a big one that we don't even really, you know, seem to acknowledge because it's just such first nature to be hard on ourselves, right? So it's like, yeah, universe, I'm done with fill in the blank and then show me the way. And then that MP3 is going to help to break up again that vibrational medicine. The light language that comes through is that vibrational medicine that bypasses kind of that subconscious, unconscious, you know, conscious structures that can kind of hold this in. The tones that come through are designed from what they've shared with me. It's designed to break those pockets of pain up and create those seeds of new the new perception, new possibilities, new synchronicities to take hold.
Just fantastic. It's at uwealthrevolution.com/Tanya, TANJA30. One thing you mentioned in just that one, the endings alchemized, step in the next timeline, is the nervous system, right? There's a shift in the nervous system that a lot of times we don't think about the nervous system as something that holds sort of energy patterns, but we do store certain reactionary energetics, certain reactionary sequences in our nervous system. That's why, if we go back to our parents' house, or we go to our old high school, or we go to, let's say, a dentist office, right? We have this, blood pressure rise perhaps, or this feeling. And it's like our nervous system holds that energy, which oftentimes you're saying we've got to begin to reset. That's just one of the things that gets reset in this audio. So we can then have a different reality around some of those old patterns.
Yeah. And look at them, being able to look at them differently, right?
That's right.
Again, that
That's right.
perceptual shift. So we're not looking at, we're not looking at it with glass half empty glasses. We're looking at it with, how is the glass overflowing here? How did this happen for me instead of to me? What, I think we talked about in the other call in terms of the gift of people pleasing, is, or over, sacrifice over self. The gift of that is self-compassion, right? It's learning boundaries. Eventually we're like, hey, wait, am I being my own best friend by, doing this way, or overextending myself that way? No, the gift of this the sacrifice over the self, or this gift of the wounded healer, or the gift of people pleasing, has been self-compassion, has been a better relationship with myself. So when we can see things from the other side and the silver lining, that really helps. And in the one-to-one sessions, feel free to come, like, hey, I really need to see the silver lining around this thing, because I ain't freaking right. Like, I mean, and there are times where we are so not myopic, but like laser, we have this laser perception of this, what it is, that we just can't see the other side. And I've had this in my own healing journey with stuff too, where somebody will say something, and again, the cognitive dissonance, what? No, like, and it takes me a second for my human to be like, oh, there is a silver lining there I didn't see. Right. And so, when people come into the sessions, like really wanting to see the blind spot, really wanting to see, that thing that maybe has been hidden from view, and like, hey, where is the silver lining here? Right. And we can find it. The team will bring it up and show it if we're willing to see it, and to feel that there is a silver lining here where it feels like, there's not.
Yeah, and I want to get to something you're doing very special. It's a bonus, and there's an activation you're going to be doing for the group. But it's almost like you said, every decision either kind of moves you on that higher timeline, or maybe keeps you on that same timeline, or maybe a descendant timeline. And when you are able to say in a decision moment, or after something happens, hey, how does this align me to the higher timeline? How does losing a job or relationship or a marriage ending align me to my highest timeline? I mean, I can profess, when my first marriage ended, I was like, oh my God, this is awful. And, was upset. And, how do I get her back? What do I do? How do I, fix this? How do I put all the pieces of the broken glass back together? And then one of my friends said, well, what if you just don't go back? And I was like, what? Oh my gosh. You mean like I could have a new timeline instead of going back to the old broken timeline and trying to piece it together? And I could actually choose a new future? Well, my friends, that's why you're here today, because I chose a new future. And that's what created what we're doing now.
And in the moment, we don't necessarily see that we're sitting there knocking on a closed door.
No, I had it all written out.
Yeah, in the middle of the storms in our life, we don't see these storms as clearing the way. All we see is the mess they're making, right? Yes. Like all you can, and how long it's going to take to clean up the mess. Yes. I remember when I went through my first divorce, it was very similar. Like I could not see, and one of my friends was asking me, well, what's, some things that you can be grateful, around this, or around this person,
hard?
what's going on. And I'm like, grateful? What? You know, like there was no way of being able to see or find any gratitude in that moment. But then again, that when I was able to start shifting perspective, I'm like, hey, wait, this person taught me this and taught me that and showed me this and showed me that. And oh my gosh, I was able to heal all these things that had been going on since childhood as a result of this. So there was so many silver linings there that I could see 10 years later, that in the middle of it, there was no way I could see it.
That's right. I remember I was doing this one training, some metaphysical training. I can't remember what it was. And the lady that was the instructor, Catherine Ponder, she wrote, because I told her, you know, I'm thinking, okay, she's my instructor. She's going to understand and be sympathetic. And I was like, oh my God, this happened. And she just wrote back, congratulations on the wonderful new space you're in. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe you're so, you know, unsympathetic. But she was right. You know, she was right. And once I decided, I would go, I visited my friend that lived in another city, stayed with them for a little while, and I'd go into the model home that was in the neighborhood. And I would just sit there and imagine this was my new home and my new life. And I was in a new city, and I imagined my new, you know, wife coming home. And it was like I just created that timeline from what seemed to be, you know, this terrible situation. But once I switched, once I was like, no, wait a minute, what if this is a new start? Everything started to fall into place. And so that's a little bit of what I think, if you're going through a challenge right now, I would recommend you do. What if this is the new start? What if this is the way to open up to that new timeline? And I think it really is, because this is the whole topic of what Tanya's been guided to show us. Now, Tanya, new timeline, group energy calibration. There have been a few questions here about how this is going to work. When are you going to do this? When are you going to start this? How many people are going to be in the, you know, and they're not sure when they're going to get this. I think a lot of people are waiting for this. Tell me about this, and when are you going to record this thing?
This is pretty funny on the timer, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 3, 3.
Oh, yes.
4, look. I love that on the timer. So I am actually in the process of moving. So I am been in the Southwest for some time now, and I am going back to the Northwest. And somewhere between here and, you know, in the next month on my road trip, I have a feeling that the codes that are so basically the bonus is a custom group activation for the people who are in this package, right? So everybody who signs up for either package A or package B will be in this container. Your energetic signature will be in it, and I will be recording a custom activation for the group. I'll be sending it over to the music wizard, David, to do his magic to it, and then it'll get sent out. So I'm going to be driving from Sedona all the way up through Utah into Montana and then into Idaho. So somewhere on that trip, the guides are showing me I will probably be at a national forest, or I will be somewhere special. And the activation will be coming through as sorry.
Somebody's excited. I love it. Even the animal kingdoms are ready for a new timeline.
Oh my goodness. Sorry. So somewhere during that road trip, I'll be like, there's the spot. And I'll call in everybody who's in package A, package B. So your energy will be present, you know, in that recording, and it'll be a custom activation. You know, usually they run around 30 minutes, give or take. And then as soon as the music is done, then it will get sent out to everyone. So that is this package, or
yeah, a lot. I mean, I'm amazed. People have not missed one thing on this page. So I got to tell you, there are live calls. There are these incredible MP3s. There's these like double opportunities for one-on-one support with package B. Tanya, I really appreciate you and everything you've done. We've been just, our hearts have been so open today by you and this work and the guides and everything. I don't know what else there is to say other than I know you care, and we love everyone here, and we love you, and we just want everyone to just tap into that higher timeline for your life, whether you go deeper into this program, whether you don't, whether you just love yourself more today. And just please know you've got something amazing coming forward in your life that in many respects, it's you who are going to open that door. Like Tanya and I can lead you, can love you, can show you, but you've got to kind of in that moment, like I did, say, yeah, you might be right. Maybe there is something better. Maybe I'm going to leave the past behind and I'm going to start to build that new life. And the moment you do, you start to collect energy, matter, frequency around it. The moment you say to that mountain, move, right? Reality starts to shift, and that mountain will start to crumble into the sea. It could be the mountain of financial lack, of energetic, turbulence or relational discord. I just believe in you that much. And I know you have that power because every sage throughout history who was worth their salt said and knew you had that power. And I do too. And Tanya, any final thoughts? This has just been amazing.
Mm. We are all so much more powerful than we were taught. And each and every one of us on this call, I think, has known that there is more magic than meets the eye. And I just feel so blessed to be able to shine a light of magic into, into the world, into the people I'm blessed with working with. It's so amazing because there's just so much more joy and more light and more magic than we realize. And as heavy as the world has become and how divisive and, just to be able to spread magic